Good evening. It's Tuesday, December 7th, and we want to get you caught up on the biggest stories of the day so far.
We begin this evening with a 15-year-old student facing charges tonight, accused of threatening his school in Loganville. Police executed a search warrant at the child's home late this afternoon. Our Adam Murphy is outside that house in Walton County. Adam, what can you tell us?
Police tell us the child lives in this ranch home in a rural part of Conyers, and investigators were out here earlier searching the property for evidence in this case.
Police stopped a credible threat of violence at Loganville High School Tuesday. A student allegedly threatened to shoot people at the school. The Walton County School District issued this statement saying, quote, "The school immediately contacted local law enforcement and removed the student in question from class. School officials completed a thorough search and officers removed the student from the building. No weapons were found during the investigation on campus." Loganville police said the threat was made by a 15-year-old student who was taken into custody and charged with making terroristic threats. Investigators executed a search warrant at the child's home on Miller Bottom Road in Conyers. Law enforcement entered the home with the parents and then left the property with nothing in hand. Police are not saying much since the student is a juvenile and the investigation is ongoing. As for the school district, they said, quote, "School officials will continue to work closely with the Loganville Police Department to investigate this threat. All students are safe and have resumed their normal daily schedules with additional security on campus."
Now, I tried to reach the parents for comment in this case to no avail. I did speak with a neighbor who said the family has always been very nice and the children well behaved. We're going to stay on top of this developing investigation. In Walton County, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
Adam, thank you. Also new tonight, a parent accused of threatening to blow up an Atlanta elementary school. Tyrone Williams was contacted by Tuskegee Airmen Global Academy last week about his kid's recent absences. According to the warrant, Williams got upset during a call with the assistant principal and said, quote, "I will be coming Monday to blow the expletive school up," end of quote. Williams was arrested and charged with making terroristic threats.
New tonight, a judge temporarily blocking President Biden's vaccine mandate for federal contractors in Georgia. A U.S. District Court judge issuing the injunction today. Millions of people who have contracts with the federal government would now have to be required to have received their final dose of the vaccine by January 4th. Governor Kemp argues President Biden does not have the constitutional power to require that federally contracted employees be vaccinated. The governor celebrated the ruling, tweeting, quote, "This nationwide injunction for federal contractors will provide necessary relief to many Georgians who were in fear of being forced to choose between this vaccine and their livelihoods."
The judge's ruling comes as the COVID-19 Omicron variant spreads rapidly. 20 states have already confirmed at least one case, including Georgia. The Atlanta-based CDC says it is closely following cases in South Africa to see how the new variant might spread in the U.S. Despite the concern about Omicron, more than 99% of COVID cases in the U.S. are from the Delta variant.
It appears that with the cases that are seen, we are not seeing a very severe profile of disease. In fact, it might be, and I underscore might, be less severe.
Right now, 60% of all U.S. citizens are now fully vaccinated. Cases are still rising, mostly in those who don't have the shot.
New details tonight. Atlanta's iconic Krispy Kreme restaurant that was burnt to the ground is showing new signs of life. The company opened a pop-up drive-through at the old Ponce location. The pop-up is temporary and will be replaced by a new Krispy Kreme sometime next year.
It's been nearly a year that we're looking into getting back with this community. The community excited. We miss serving them, and here we are. So, and then no better time than the Christmas season to bring joy and our great donuts to the Ponce community.
Especially when those donuts are hot.
Right out the oven.
The restaurant caught fire for the first time in February, then again in July. Both fires have been investigated as arson, but no arrests have been made.
Still ahead.
I can't breathe, man. Let me up. I can't breathe. Hey, man, I can't breathe for real.
That video from Albany, Georgia, showing a Dollar General employee on top of a man accused of shoplifting. That man now suing the employee and the store, saying he was suffocated. He spent several days in the hospital after that video was taken. CBS 46's Haley Mason was there at the man's attorney as he laid out the case. And Haley, this man saying he was seriously hurt.
Yeah, Sean, he wasn't just hurt. He was sent to the hospital and put on life support for nearly 2 weeks. And this lawsuit is alleging that Dollar General is to blame. They're suing the store and 2 employees for negligence and injuries. This was caught on video, and it's video you might find hard to watch.
Hey, breathe. Okay. Come on, man.
This is video of Michael King yelling, "I can't breathe," as a man who worked for Dollar General detained him for allegedly trying to shoplift about $46 worth of household items.
Stop resisting me. Stop resisting.
The incident went on for 9 minutes as the manager watched. It happened at a store in Albany, Georgia.
You also see another employee who we believe was the acting manager walk right by, keep looking, didn't order Mr. Harvey off of Mr. King, and allowed this to happen, which is why this is Dollar General's entire fault.
Today, King's attorney L. Chris Stewart announced a lawsuit for gross negligence in King's injuries. They say he was sent to the hospital and put on life support.
He had to be sedated, and he was on a ventilator for 9 days. He suffered collapsed lungs and a punctured lung. He had a liver injury.
This was insanity. The screams of "I can't breathe" are all too reminding of what we heard with George Floyd, and it had dire consequences.
The Dollar General's manager is also named in the suit for allegedly closing the doors of the store while it happened.
You can hear the witness describe how the doors were locked to the Dollar General by the manager, not allowing anyone to leave.
The legal team says King still cannot walk after the incident that happened in late October. They're asking Dollar General to withdraw all shoplifting charges against their client. And I have reached out to the Dollar General for comment. They've acknowledged that they received our request, so we'll update you when they do respond on their side of the story. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Breaking news, the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is asking victims to come forward in connection with a dentistry fraud case. Alan Devlin at the Breaking News Desk. Alan.
Rick, and right now this remains an active investigation. Gerardo Lasada has been arrested for practicing dentistry without a license. And right now, as you just said, the Gwinnett Police Department is looking for any of those victims who may have been involved with his dentistry practices. Earlier, police executed a search on Lasada's house and confirmed he was conducting those dental procedures without credentials, sometimes disfiguring his victims in the process. Right now, as the police department builds a case, they ask anyone with any information or any of those victims to come forward. We'll keep you updated as this one moves forward. From the Breaking News Desk, I'm Alan Devlin. Back to you in the studio.
Alan, thank you. Family, friends gathering by the dozens to say goodbye to Clayton County Officer Henry Laxon. Agencies from all over the state were in Jonesboro for a procession earlier this morning. You may recall Henry Laxon was a field training officer for the Clayton County Police Department. He worked for the department for the last 4 years. Laxon was shot and killed last week while responding to a domestic dispute in Rex. This afternoon, those who knew him well had only beautiful memories.
Good friend of the family. My son and him grew up together. Many birthday parties, many times together. The last time I saw Mr. Laxon was at Home Depot when he was on duty, and we had a good conversation. He's just really a great person, and the family's going to miss him.
Officer Laxon was the third officer killed in the line of duty in Metro Atlanta while responding to domestic violence calls. We'll have more on the story both on air and online.
Well, for now, federal contractors and subcontractors will not have to abide by President Biden's vaccine mandate. A South Georgia judge issuing an injunction against that requirement today, and this comes as the Omicron variant of COVID spreads to more states. But for now, the Delta variant of COVID makes up a vast majority of daily cases in the country. The White House COVID response team is hoping to have answers to key questions about the new variant soon. CBS News' Naomi Ruckham reports from New York.
With Omicron now detected in at least 20 states, the CDC is closely following cases in South Africa to see how the new COVID variant might spread in the U.S.
It appears that with the cases that are seen, we are not seeing a very severe profile of disease. In fact, it might be, and I underscore might, be less severe.
Currently, more than 99% of COVID-19 cases in the U.S. are the Delta variant, according to the CDC.
We have months of study on Delta, and all of those data demonstrate that vaccines work.
In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio has announced what may be the nation's strictest vaccine mandate yet, giving all private companies until December 27th to make sure all employees are vaccinated. And children age 5 and up must show proof of at least one shot for indoor dining, fitness, and entertainment.
This is how we put health and safety first.
The private sector mandate applies to 184,000 businesses across the city, and reaction here in New York is mixed.
I feel like that customers that's coming here spending, good money, and they want to know the status of the people who's serving them.
To bar children from entering our establishment is ludicrous. It's probably going to cause a 20% to 30% reduction.
Meantime, there is progress in the fight against the virus. Both Merck and Pfizer are eyeing the end of the year for emergency use authorization of their COVID-19 treatment pills. An FDA advisory panel recommended Merck's and will soon review Pfizer's. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
CBS 46 is your vaccine team, and tonight we're checking on vaccination statuses of our 4 biggest local counties. 52% of the state is fully vaccinated. In Cobb County, 57% of neighbors are fully vaccinated. In DeKalb, 54% are fully vaccinated. In Fulton, 56% fully vaccinated. 55% are fully vaccinated in Gwinnett County. And across the U.S., 60% of all citizens are fully vaccinated. Atlanta Public Schools students may be able to breathe easier just a little bit soon. District officials say masks would become optional on February 1st as long as transmission rates in Fulton and DeKalb counties remain at moderate or low levels for at least 2 consecutive weeks.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.